WBAY TV, your first alert station. Action 2 News starts right now with breaking news.
Good morning on this Tuesday. We are breaking into programming to be first to alert you to some breaking news going on right now at Oshkosh West High School.
Yeah, and a lot of our information just coming in moments ago. A Facebook post from the Oshkosh Police Department about an officer-involved shooting at Oshkosh West High School this morning, and the school currently is under a lockdown.
And officials are telling parents they can reunite with their children at Perry Tipler Middle School. We're just getting details in. We want to be first to alert you to these details about what is happening at Oshkosh West. Officials say a student was armed with a weapon and confronted that school resource officer. Here's a map. You can see Oshkosh West is on Eagle Street. The student and officer were both hurt in this incident and were taken to local hospitals. Just one student involved here.
You see, the school, Oshkosh West, is not too far from 41. We've got a crew on the scene, too. We're hoping to bring you a live picture. Now, we want to warn you, the camera is going to be moving because our photojournalist at the scene is shooting video of this unfolding situation at Oshkosh West. So the camera is going to move, but we want to give you a picture of what we're seeing right now. It looks like the parking lot right there, as police continue to investigate this situation.
Since police were involved, this is common practice. This incident is now being turned over to the State Department of Criminal Investigation, which will conduct the investigation and learn more about what is happening here. This all just unfolding this morning. Again, officials say one student was armed with a weapon, confronted a school resource officer. Both student and officer were hurt, but we don't yet have information on how badly the two were hurt, and we don't know the names of the people involved or what led to this confrontation.
Right. We're seeing a school bus leaving. Not sure if this is taking students to Perry Tipler Middle School, where police have told us that parents can reunite with their students who attend Oshkosh West High School as they are vacating that area.
And right now, we are going to hear from Kate Mann, who is the Public Affairs Crime Prevention Officer with the Oshkosh Police Department. Our Action 2 News First Alert crews are there with her, about to talk with her about what is going on.
And we will join her, and I think she's talking right now. Let's go to that.
Prevention Officer, City of Oshkosh Police.
And can you tell me now what's happening? What's going on?
At approximately 9:12 a.m., officers were dispatched to West High School for a report of an officer-involved shooting. We received information that there was one student that was injured as well as a school resource officer. Both of these individuals were taken to local hospitals for injuries. They were the only two individuals that were injured during this altercation. It began when a student armed with a weapon had confronted a school resource officer. At this time, we are evacuating West High School, and we ask that parents go to Perry Tipler Middle School to be reunited with their children. The Department of Criminal Investigation is going to be taking over this investigation.
We talked to Pastor John Seelman, who is a pastor at Emmanuel Lutheran Church, which is right across the street from Oshkosh West. Let's hear what he had to say.
I heard from my custodian that her grandson across the street heard 3 shots, what sounded like shots. And right after that, there were students running across the street, every which direction. We didn't know what was going on exactly, and then I started to video all the police officers that started to show up on the scene.
Can you describe your video, what you saw?
To start out with, there was just 1 or 2 officers. Then an ambulance showed up, and they were driving over the snow, just rushing towards a particular doorway on the south and eastern end of Oshkosh West High School.
All right, that's John Seelman, the pastor. He also said, he saw somebody brought out in a wheelchair, moved to a stretcher. Said he was about to start Bible class when this whole thing started to unfold there across the street from where he is at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. He said some students actually came into his church. He said walk them to the corner to the bus, where those students, as you mentioned, Catherine, being taken to Perry Tipler Middle School this morning.
And we are looking at a live video of Oshkosh West High School, where we have our Action 2 News First Alert crews on the scene working to get more information.
Good afternoon. We are breaking into regular programming for live coverage of breaking news.
As we've been reporting on air and online all morning, an armed student and school resource officer were hurt today in an officer-involved shooting at Oshkosh West High School. That school is on Eagle Street, just east of Interstate 41 on the south side of the Fox River.
And here's a live look at the Oshkosh Police Department, where officers and school district officials are set to give an update on this morning's incident. Let's listen in.
At 9:12 a.m., Winnebago County Sheriff's Communications Center received a radio transmission from the school resource officer at Oshkosh West High School, located at 375 North Eagle Street. The radio transmission was garbled, but they were able to hear from the officer who called for help and to send an ambulance. The first responding officer arrived on scene at 9:14 a.m. That's 2 minutes after the call for help, and made immediate entry into the school. It is believed that he went to the school resource officer's location to assist. Additional officers arrived, and the school implemented ALICE procedures, including lockdown. It was determined that there was an altercation at the SRO's office between the officer and a 16-year-old student. Initial reports are that the student produced a weapon and stabbed the officer, at which time the officer fired on the student, striking the student one time.
And we have multiple crews who have been in Oshkosh all day working on getting information, talking with students, talking with parents, and just getting a feel for what it's like in that community right now. Our Mackenzie Amundsen has been near Perry Tipler Middle School today. That's where the Oshkosh North High School students were evacuated to. And Mackenzie, there was a lot of, I'm sure, parents very upset, worried as they picked up their students there earlier today.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah and Jeff. The parents I spoke to said that their only concern was making sure that their students were safe. Now, we have been on site at the middle school since about 10:30 this morning. Again, that is where the Oshkosh High School students were taken during the lockdown. You can see behind me the line of parents waiting to pick up their kids has gone down significantly. We're actually on West 4th Avenue because on both sides of the street here, up until about an hour ago, it was completely lined with cars. Parents, guardians, all worried about their kids, trying to make sure they can pick them up and take them home safely. We are still seeing those parents and students exiting the high school right now.
We have full team coverage of today's breaking news we've been bringing you all day. Mackenzie Amundsen will join us shortly, but first we begin with Brittany Schmidt. Brittany.
Sarah and Jeff, police officers arrived rather quickly here, and they still remain on scene here at Oshkosh West High School after that urgent phone call was made from the injured officer himself, calmly but urgently asking for an ambulance to arrive here. That was made at 9:12. Just 2 minutes later, help arrived, and they rendered life-saving aid to both the 16-year-old and resource officer. They are now both being treated at a local hospital nearby and said to believe with non-life-threatening injuries. At a press conference this afternoon, Oshkosh Police Chief Dean Smith says a 16-year-old current high school student confronted the resource officer in their office with a sharp-edged weapon. The resource officer was stabbed, then shot the student, hitting them once. We did talk to a pastor at a local church across the street who says he saw students running from the school after hearing gunshots. He recorded this video on his phone of a person being wheeled out in a wheelchair and eventually put in an ambulance. You can also see the swarm of police. The chief says at least 75 officers were here at one time today. The investigation is preliminary, but police believe the student was acting alone. School is canceled tomorrow district-wide as investigators continue to look into the incident. Counselors will be provided for students.
We care about you. We want you to be safe, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you're going to be okay. This is a tragedy. This is something that no school district, no city, no community wants to face. But together, we're going to come through. We're going to make everybody whole.
About 1,700 students attend Oshkosh West High School here. They were all evacuated and taken to a middle school to be reunited with their parents. Reporting live in Oshkosh, Brittany Schmidt, Action 2 News.
Brittany, thanks. Mackenzie Amundsen joins us now from that middle school after speaking to parents all day, trying to pick up their students after the incident. Mackenzie.
Jeff, I have been on scene here at Perry A. Tipler Middle School since 10:30 this morning. This is where the Oshkosh West High School students were bused after the lockdown at their school. A single file line of concerned parents wrapped around the building earlier today. Some waited for more than an hour in the cold to pick up their children. Emotions ran high for many of the parents who told me their only concern was making sure their kids were safe. They also say they felt shocked that something like this could happen right here in the Oshkosh School District. Some of their children just feet away from the shooting.
I got a hold of my eldest first, and then I tried to get a hold of my son. I couldn't get a hold of him for 40 minutes, and all I heard was there was something bad had happened with a boy, and it was just terrible.
Everyone on the intercom was just like, run, run, run. And then they were like, oh, it's a lockdown, you have to stay in room. And everyone was like, no, you have to run.
I'm told many of the students waited in this middle school gym into the afternoon to be picked up. Vols also picked up her middle school daughter, who describes those students and staff as being in complete disarray today. In the end, she calls it a very long day and tells me she's just happy to be going home with all of her kids safe tonight. Live in Oshkosh, Mackenzie Amundsen, Action 2 News.
Mackenzie, thanks. The students, parents, and everyone in the community processing a wide range of emotions today, especially anger and fear. As you heard in Mackenzie's report, a child therapist is holding an event tonight to help talk about those feelings and the questions kids and their parents are asking. Rebecca Hubbard is a therapist and author of the book Kindness in a Scary World. She wrote it with younger children in mind to help them learn how to feel safe amid violence. She and another author, Grace Liang, are holding a discussion open to the public tonight at Northeast Wisconsin Technical College in Green Bay. They originally came to talk about dealing with grief during the holidays, but after the stabbing and shooting at Oshkosh West this morning, they are shifting focus. And Hubbard has some advice about fear.
There's a lot of things I want to say to him, but one of the things I want to say first is that let fear motivate us to do something different to protect our kids and not to motivate us to withdraw from the world. Because fear in that way grows exponentially, and it will take over your life in a matter of days.
They say they are open to any questions parents may have for them. That discussion is free for the public. It begins at 6 o'clock at NWTC's Student Center. We have all the details at WBAY.com.
The high school did have an emergency plan in place in the event of a serious incident like the one this morning. Aisha Morales joins us now with those details. Aisha.
Hey, Mackenzie, thank you. As you know, the process of picking up the kids today here at Tipler Middle School, a stressful one, both for students and their parents. The parents just anxious to see their kids, and the students themselves just wanting to get home to their families. I was chatting with a mom today who tells me that she had to go through a 3-step process to get to her child to be reunited with her son today. She says there was a form to fill out for the police department, the school, and teachers. So again, a triple check system to make sure all students are accounted for. She and other parents say the district and the police department did a great job. Some parents had to wait out in the cold, as you said, for more than an hour in some cases, all part of the school crisis response plan through the district, which says the students and staff all did a great job of going from evacuation to reunification. Still, it was just overall a long day for everyone.
It was a long process. It was waiting, cold outside. I got on house shoes, as you can see, but I'll do anything to protect my children.
She had to go home to get her ID, and then it took like an hour for her to even get through the line because it's so long. And so it took forever for her to even get to us, even though I was ready to go.
The reunification process is one the district has in place anytime there is an evacuation, just like there was today. And just watching some of those families leave today, some people were very distraught. Others were holding each other as they were walking to their cars, just anxious to get home. Live in Oshkosh, Aisha Morales, Action 2 News.
Aisha, thank you. Police in Oshkosh also investigating a social media comment implying a possible threat toward Oshkosh North High School today. Officers say the comment was made on the police department's Facebook page on a post about today's shooting at West High School. Detectives investigated and believe no students are in danger or that the comment was actually intended as a threat.